Welcome back to another special edition of the Habs Nation Live Tonight Show. This is the hockey coach, coach franchise directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. And we have to go all the way to find our co-host directly for Toronto. He is back with us for another night. Mr. ENORTAP is with the hockey tonight.
Hey, hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. Great to be together for a Q&A session.
I know. We're going to talk about hockey tonight. We're going to talk about a little bit about Montreal Canadiens. A little bit like the Martin St. Louis is building a great brand. And we're going to get a bit more deeper about Martin St. Louis, what he brings on the table. And I'm going to make a rectification of what I said a couple of weeks ago. I'm always find a way where I'm wrong or my ID change. I'm always open up to mention that. I'm not a guy like, no, I stuck with my ID or it's my opinion. No. And no, I want to, when I see something changing, I'm available to tell the truth for everybody. Anyhow, Mr. ENORTAP.
Except for Winnipeg.
We're going to talk about the...
Except for Winnipeg.
Yeah, Winnipeg, yes, you're absolutely right about this. Two games in the NHL tonight, very quiet. But now the Panthers make a big jump on that one because they got the lead 2-1 right now. Again, the Blackhawks are really doing very well. Again, the Florida Panthers. And the surprise, we're going to talk about this, how the Chicago continues to performing without the big name over there, like McCabe, Lafferty, Max Domi, Patrick Kane, and all this fun name like that. So anyhow, we're going to talk about this. This is the period for me. It was 2-0, Mr. ENORTAP, after 40 minutes. This is the period of the year for the Florida Panthers. They cannot lose. They need 2 points. And they have 20 minutes to prove it. If not, this will be over. 33 shots versus 17, by the way. So I just want to sharing this with you. But that's what we got tonight. Will be a really quick show tonight, 60 to 90 minutes. We're going to talk about the fun news around the league. The Flyers make a chance. We're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the wild card. I think it's getting more interesting. Calgary played tonight again at Anaheim Duck. This is a game like Calgary cannot lose at home. And the team are below. And Montreal tied the game last night and they lose and shootout, but they took advantage of their team win last night to get a better situation like the W for Arizona Coyotes, Mr. ENORTAP. So I just want to share with you about that one over there. And we have a few people in the chat, so we're going to welcome everyone. And we have, first of all, Gary Cournoyer is with the Hockey Nation Show. Gary, welcome back, the Road Runner.
Hey, Gary.
Our friend Randy Walkman, Mr. ENORTAP from Alberta, West Canadian, is in the house. He's waiting right now for the Flame play tonight.
Hey, Randy.
Then we have Run with Kings 20, another moderator of the Hockey Nation Show. Thanks to be with us tonight from Utah.
How's it going, Run?
And that one, Mr. ENORTAP, the Florida Panthers tied the game 2-2, a power play goal of Sam Reinhart, and Bennett scored the first goal. So 2-2 right now, and that's not looking good for Chicago Blackhawks again. After this is the second time now this week. Oh, it was Columbus maybe. Chicago was winning some play again. Detroit
2-0. They were winning 2-0, then 3-2, and then they tied it, and then they lost in overtime.
Yeah. So. Maybe that's happening. Again, another great performance of Merechek before the 2 goals he gave tonight, but it is what it is. Melissa Zabran is in the house from Detroit.
Hey, Melissa.
Now it's a 2-2. Danny, the captain, is in the house. Mr. ENORTAP, welcome aboard. Thanks for being with us.
Cheers, Danny.
And then we have our friend RJ Calabro with all the update. Is back in the house, Mr. ENORTAP from New Jersey. RJ Calabro.
Hello, RJ.
So thank you so much, everybody. Look like a little bit more people, but nobody talk yet. We want to welcome everyone. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like if you don't mind. That'd be great. Helping the chat, the channel. But of course, tonight, guys, we're going to talk about fun things. We're going to talk about Montreal Canadiens at the beginning of the show for about X minutes. And then after that, we're going to talk about QA. So this is a show tonight, like, guys, the Friday night, we try to get more smooth, not to put too much heavy. And then we're going to talk about fun subject, what happening right now in NHL during the week. And then this weekend, they have a lot of good games this weekend. And they have an impact. Talk about NHL, Mr. Notab, the parity of the standing. They want this to go all the way to the end. And that's what we got after 65 games, 64 games. Many teams are now battling for a spot wild card on the Eastern Conference. Now, yesterday, the Nashville got hurt with the loss against Arizona. This may be the end for them, but the Calgary knocked the door right now on the West on the wild card, and they have a possibility right now with the W tonight to make that something happening. And overall, the team play better as a team, but their schedule is so easy. The next 10 games could maybe make a big difference on the wild card, and I would be a little bit nervous if I was the Winnipeg Jet at the end of the day. And then the Pacific Division is on top, 2-4 points from the top to the 4. So Edmonton is in the race, Seattle is in the race, the Los Angeles Kings in the race, and the Vegas Golden Knights is a big W for them. Again, the Tampa Bay Lightning last night to keep that lead at the beginning at the top. So we have a lot of subjects to talk about this, Mr. Tap, and that's not without talking about the karaoke of the Danny T at the Orleans bar Saturday night. So imagine that we're going to add this on that. That would be amazing, right?
Oh, absolutely. And he's getting
we have
much
Mr.
better
LS LH, Mr. Natap is in the house. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Jake McCanoe, Mr. Natap, is with the Hockey National Show tonight. Jake, always a great supporter of the Hockey National Show. And that's pretty much what we got, Mr. Natap. So what we want to talk about, the Ab Nation, and Martin Saint-Louis building a great brand. The last couple of days, I talk a lot about Martin Saint-Louis, the Montreal Canadiens, and the way they modified, and you can see that team consists of not winning but performing at the high levels, whatever they're missing, 10, 11, 12, 13 players, and they continue to give a great entertaining game, and they're still until the end. The last 2 games, they got 2 points against a team they should not. Many teams will never get this. Again, the Carolina Hurricanes Tuesday night, and then last night, again, the New York Rangers. Tomorrow is the New Jersey Devils. Prior to that, they lost 2 games by 1 goal, Anaheim and the Kings, if you remind that trip, before they win against Jose Sharks. So this, you're thinking a team right now already building something special in Montreal, and this is really, for me, is a Martin Saint-Louis improvement. So I would like to hear from you at the beginning. What do you feel about the Martin Saint-Louis since he got hired last February in 2022? And many skeptical people was against this because you think he was never experienced, everything like that. And he came here with some other new philosophy, and they really, really make a very huge impact, in my opinion. We're going to go talk a little bit more, but what do you think about the performance of Martin Saint-Louis behind the bench of the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, it's nothing short of impressive right now, and you got to realize, Coach, when you think about Martin St. Louis and you talk about him, we're talking about a unicorn here, and not only right now as a coach, because a lot of history still has to be written before we can actually say he reached a certain plateau or a certain level. But when you think about him, even as a player, right, and what he had to endure to get to certain stages, and he was never. People were saying he was never good enough to get to this level, and he was never big enough to get to play in the NHL, and he was never fast enough to compete with everybody else. And he beat all those odds, right? He's a true unicorn. What really stands out to me is his level of communication. He enters a room and he commands the room, and not many people can do that. And I think he commands it because what he's had to endure in his career, and I think people can relate to that on some level or some facet of his career, and B, because he comes across, and I think this is true to who he is. His character is genuine. He'll tell you when you're doing well. He'll tell you when you're doing poorly. But he just won't tell you that you're doing poorly. He'll also tell you how to try to correct it, right? And he gives you that second and the third opportunity. And as you mentioned, even in your video, the way he approached the situation with Gurionov. Like he says, I'm not gonna. Many people have painted you with a paintbrush right now, and are saying you can or can't do this. I want to see you play. Go out there, just play for 2-3 weeks, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk, and we'll go from there. And to me, that's the true sign of not only a good coach but a leader. And so I think he's doing a great job. He's building. I don't want to call it a brand. I'll be honest with you, Coach, and maybe it's just semantics. I think he's building an identity with this team. He's building a winning culture. Because when I think brand, I think of the Montreal Canadiens, and I think that brand has always existed in time, and it's definitely a winning brand as it is. Like, it speaks for itself. It's like when you say New York Yankees or you say the Los Angeles Lakers. Same thing with Montreal when it comes to hockey. So I try not to use the word brand as much as culture, more a winning culture, and it's easy to lose track of the fact that that losing can be very contagious, just like winning can. And if you think it's okay to lose because maybe you're trying to tank or whatever the case might be, players take on that identity. They don't go that extra step to try to improve. They don't challenge themselves and their teammates. And I think that's what St. Louis wants to see. He wants to see everybody taking it one step further.
Yeah, great analysis about the situation with Martin St. Louis. By the way, the Florida Panthers score, take the lead 3-2 right now, 3 goals during the third period. And I think, like I mentioned, that period was maybe the period of the year for the Florida Panthers to stay in the race. Listoranen score 16 goals for Listoranen, the ENORTAP. A lot of people are complaining when they trade Vincent Trocheck, the Florida Panthers, to the Carolina Hurricane. And they got, I think, a pick. And then they got one of them. It was Listoranen, part of this trade. Nobody remember that one over there. And he's increasing his quality hockey for the last 2 years. And he proved it now this year. 16 goals for the guy play maybe 13, 14 minutes per game at third line. So pretty impressive for what Listoranen does with the Florida Panthers. Open the door for, with me, you can go left and right. And that's where I am. But before we continue talking about Martin, we have a few people knock the door, Mr. Tap. The people pop up. That's great to hear that. We have Gary Cournoyer talk about Josh Anderson. But Paul Tuffy is in the house, Mr. Tap. Thank you to be with us. We have Mr. Jacob Murray talk about the Panthers score. You're absolutely right about this. Welcome back. And then his communication, very important for Paul. And Angelo is in the house. Welcome in the house, all of you.
Welcome, everyone.
Now, do you have some kind of update for injuries? I would mention this a bit later, but we are already a comment from Angelo about that. Doc will be out indefinitely. Gallagher will be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Jekai, a full recovery expect and should be ready for the start of the season camp, Mr. Tap. So that's what we got on that one. And Mr. Stu Pilazzo.
Welcome, Stu.
So I just want to share a ring with you about the update for Angelo. Thank you so much. This is the night for your QA, guys, about Montreal, anything in NHL. Put the letter Q. I'm going to answer to your question at some point. For definitely about that. By the way, because we opened the door about injury, going back on Martin St. Louis, I know I changed the subject sometime, is because Chantal Machabée did an interview yesterday, very quickly, an interview about yesterday was the foundation of the Montreal Canadiens, like a radioton, but it's a teleton, whatever you call it now. But you have an interview with Chantal Machabée. Chantal Machabée worked for the RDS Sport French channel for years, like 20 years, 25 years. She was the first original woman do the sport report the night, like Sports Center the night after the end of the night. She was doing this for years for the RDS. She grew and she became reporter for coverage the Montreal Canadiens. She got hired by the Montreal Canadiens. But my point behind that, finally, coach tell us what the heck we talking about. But she talked about the injuries yesterday. She said, I was at the same shows like you are guys right now, thinking about the injuries, how the Montreal works. When I cross the fence or the gates and I walk with them, you have a reason behind that we cannot talk about, and we have to be careful. And next week or the next 2 weeks, they will have a press conference from Ken Hughes and Chantal Maccabi to explain how the reason why or maybe at the end of the year, where the reason why they act that way with injury for players. Sometimes it's protect the players. Most of the time, they don't tell anything about the players. Sometimes, again, other team, and I can go all the way like that. So it was really interesting what she opened the door about that. So at some point, fans, and that's who they are, right? They see well, not the negativity, but you see the little bit the frustration for the fans, for the reporter, everything like that. So, but she says going to clarify that situation the next couple of weeks for the Montreal Canadiens for injury. So I just want to sharing this with you, Mr. Natap, about that. Larry Lavallee is in the house, Mr. Natap. So I forgot about Larry Lavallee.
Welcome,
Larry. He talked about the Habs culture was that there. It will always been there, like the Yankees. Look how many Cup and World Series two teams has between them. And Rabinov is in the house. Welcome aboard. About that. So let's consider what we talk about this. So we talk about Martin St. Louis. After Martin St. Louis, I always said he was maybe not coach in NHL. He maybe have no experience in NHL, but he was coaching for years and years and years since he played in hockey. That's what he is. He want to know the why. He want to know what happening every time. And but at the end of the day, that's what he built his resume. By the way, he talked with John Tortorella and any other coach, and then he wanted the door opening for his job in NHL. He knew he was ready. He already knew about that. Martin St. Louis is a new kind of the new generation in hockey, right? Younger, a lot of experience. I think that when you talk about Martin St. Louis, you talk about respect, first of all, as a hockey player. Never been a player with the many drama. Always been honest for what he accomplished. Work ethic was exemplar. And then he continues to work to show, like you mentioned, he beat the odds against him all the way. So he go through adversity, challenge, everything like that, from the bottom to the top. But again, that's what Martin St. Louis did in NHL. Become a coach now. I think one person in the chat talk about communication. This is one really he make it fun for any other coach right now for the Montreal Canadiens is communication to open up for everything. When you're watching him, guys, at the press conference, and I invite you to watching him after the game or after the practice or before, whatever it is, when he's under the mic, you're going to learn about hockey. He tried to teaching people what the reason he does this, and and sometimes it's really funny because he makes some kind of comments and people laugh at that. He's really smooth during the press conference. He had no tension with that. Maybe I can count on one hand the number of times he was really upset when he talked after the game. Overall, he is really a calm, always positive when you talk about the team. He never talk about one particular player negatively. He talk always on the positively if about one specific player. This way was Kovacevic. He talked about Belzile yesterday or 2 days ago, and I can go all the way like that. That's what Martin St. Louis is for the Montreal Canadiens. Then when we talk about the brand and the culture and the identification, who they are, it's three different things for me. So the brand, because they always been there, the brand, right? It's the logo and the team, right? But at the end of the day, a brand could be high and sometimes it could be low. It's like a stock market, right? The market go up and go down. But Montreal at the point where they are like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they are maybe at the lowest, at the bottom of the brand of the Montreal Canadiens. And that's where the brand, when you talk about the brand, it's the past. But then, of course, it's the present. 1 month ago, I have a big conversation with Luc Lafortune and people in the chat when I was said not many people want to go play for the Montreal Canadiens. I said that publicly, and I said 75% of people don't want to go to play for Montreal Canadiens because what the past was, the way they play. Remember, guys, when you play on the defensive, not many players, not many, but many players doesn't want to play for Islanders, example, because the system they use is really defensively and the productivity is not there. So people thinking players lose money. But my point here, the brand for Martin St. Louis bring better. He bring that kind of pride for the Montreal Canadiens, the logo in front of the jersey, what it represents, what is really the Canadian Montreal Canadiens. And this is the brand. So it's not about Martin St. Louis, Ken Hughes, Jeff Gordon, Josh Molson, Martin St. Josh Anderson or Cole Caulfield. This is the logo. This is who the brand is, a company. And I think Martin St. Louis and the staff elevate that brand in the last 10 months, 1 year and a half, whatever you want to call it. I think that brand is getting better and better and better. And that's what brings more the attention around the league and recognize, a lot of people recognize the brand of Montreal Canadiens because you can see everywhere. If you go play to Arizona or Ottawa or anywhere, the fans wear a lot of Montreal Canadiens. The culture.
Yeah, but he's restoring it, coach.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference, because one thing you can never take away, like when you look and you see, like back here, see all those? You can never take that away. So when a player comes, you can't live in the past. I agree with that. But it helps to dictate where you go in the future and how you present yourself when you put on that jersey, because it carries with it a history. When we talk about
the same flannel, right? The flannel, we talk in French, right? The flambeau, we represent, right? The pass the flambeau for the next captain and everything like that. This is the history of Montreal Canadiens. This is the brand. But my brand, it could be, of course, sometimes lower because certain circumstances happening, right? It's like the value of the team lower because of that. This is for me, the brand, and my opinion about that. That exactly what you said. That's the historic. That's what happening in the past, and then they just try to making the brand better. That's my point about that. That's what I want to explain to you about this. Now, the culture, guy, is what they try to make that team become. I'm watching now Lundell, but he's not scored yet. I'm watching about the Montreal Canadiens. The culture is about who they want to be as a team, I'm talking about the team. It's not only one on the ice. It's everything. So the culture is about what the CEO and the team decide they want to be. And the people have to be. OMG, Mr. ENORTAP, the Chicago tied the game at 44 seconds.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Overtime. That's what we needed.
That's impressive about that. So you understand the culture is what they want to bring as a team together. And that's what he want to involve everyone inside the organization, from the top, from the CEO, from the owners, for the players, for the general manager, for the coaches, staff development, video coach, everyone have to follow. It's like when you work at the Ritz-Carlton. If you really study the Ritz-Carlton, guys, the credo, right? The card. Every morning they have to read the credo. If you go to Ritz-Carlton, they would tell you exactly your name. If they would tell you, Mr. ENORTAP, we have a special pillow for you because you get that one. They knows exactly what happened. This is what you get at the Ritz-Carlton. What makes Ritz-Carlton's friend? Because they really care about the customer. It's all about the credo. And that's what I'm talking about, the culture. What Martin St. Louis want to bring for the Montreal Canadiens for the future. And like he talked about the train move forward, but in the train, you have passenger. And the passenger have to buy in. They have to be all in. They have to understand the concept of what happening, play as the team together. This is the culture about that. Then you add about the intensification, how you intensify. It's the style, the play they want to play. Maybe fast tempo of the game, right? The entrance zone, the defensive zone, the zone coverage, and all the system, how they want to play. Is it maybe physical? Is it forechecking? Is it back checking? How they play on the swamp, and I can go all the way like that. This is the style of how they want to play. This is how they intensify. Islanders is more based on the defensive side, right? Others are all about attack. Toronto is about attack. I can go all the way like that. And that's why Martin St. Louis loved the transition. He loved the speed, tempo of the game. Speed is very important for him.
Mm-hmm.
The transition, the join the rush by the D, and create space on the ice. And he changed, he used a lot of terms. That's what I said. Martin St. Louis is very interesting to watching him, to listen to him when he talk under the mic, in front of the mic, because he brings some kind of term. So that's what Martin St. Louis talk about this one there. It's finally, when I talk about the team building, it's come back what I said, a bit the culture, but it's about how they all buy him and how they bring the players to believe, to trust the organization, the team, the coach, and the staff, and each one of them, what they try to accomplish as a team together. It's following by the culture before that, and that's following before that the brand. That's all together, and that's how you build a team building. All together by the way you show to the organization, for the players, what it takes to winning and what the cost of winning, and the details of the game, and I can go all the way like that. Then finally, the development is the most important thing for the OMG Mission attack. Peter Marechek right now at 0.5 save, maybe destroy the season about Panthers. What a great save of Panthers. Oh my God. 39 shot. Marechek is not great, but when he is hot, he is hot. Tonight is still
He's hot, yeah.
tonight. But this is about, right? So that's the development. We'll talk about this, Mr. Top, a little bit more about the development before we jump in the chat, because the pop-up right now, up and down. I don't know if I can pick it up, a lot of things here in that chat, but we'll see what's happening here. Don't stay with me, guys. I'm telling you, I'm going to pick up everyone here. But just when I start to talk, I'm focusing here and with Mr. Natap, and I forgot everyone about this. So I got back, Mr. Natap. Everybody welcomes to. That's all about Mr. Natap. We could be 90 people here, but it's about the friendly we are together. Whatever we have, 30 people right now. But again, everybody welcomes to everything like that. So the ad culture was there. It will always been there, like you said, the Yankees, Larry. Yes, but the culture could be destroyed very quickly, Larry, by the performance and the way they controlling. Like, when you think about Randy Connor work, Mr. Natap, a couple of years ago, how the culture was really upset the people, everything like that. And I can go away like this all the time. So the culture is very important. It's a culture can changing very quickly, fast. All depends on the performance of the people who run the show. And Rabinov is in the house. Welcome back in the house. Then we have Chicago Bear is in the house. Everyone, the Hawk gave up another 2-1 lead. They tied the game. That's good. Yeah. Chicago fan is on the prize for better. Well, I guess I saw my last cup 2093, but I will bet with Martin, so I will send the cup and then 3-4 years. Really demanding about this, but everything possible. I cannot be anything about this. Again, another thing, you respect the referee. Paul, that's a great point about this. Respect the referee. I agree with you. Martin St. Louis is cerebral for N. Rabinov. Luciano, John Cooper and Martin St. Louis style of coaching, I believe, is different. John Cooper, much more experienced, but do you think Cooper could get more out of the ad players like Martin St. Louis has? I don't think so, personally.
They're different. They're slightly different styles, of course. Cooper's a mastermind. He brings to the game, a very rational approach to the game. Like everything Cooper does is very, very calculated. Like the other night when he benched, his first line the entire third period. Believe me, he didn't just bench him because they did something wrong. He's got a reason behind it, and he's going to gamble on that, and it's based on a lot of thought process behind it, and hopefully it doesn't backfire on him, but I don't think it will, and that's the way he is. Martin St. Louis, I think we hit on it before. He's much more of a communicator and teacher, having been through the game himself. And knowing that he's had to fight the odds that he's had to, he brings that aspect. He understands, he clearly understands where each player is coming from because he's been at that stage himself at some point or another, and therefore that's what makes him a good coach, I think.
Yeah, just watching a breakaway by Chicago, a big save of Bobrovsky to save the situation with on top. Now Panthers attacking now 2 versus 1, and Maricek make a big save on that one, by the way. First of all, guys, great question by Luciano, a great comment by Mr. Tap. Here's his friend right there. You have a guy, Hall of Famer, play over 1,000 game, whatever it is, or 100 point, right? Martin St. Louis. And then you have another player, a coach, never been in NHL, and he was what? Is it not the background with John Cooper, a lawyer?
A lawyer, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but everywhere he has been coaching, he's win, John Cooper. So you have something he does very well, right? So what you do, like me, what I did when I was going to the NHL associate coaching, I would ask the people, right, why this coach is successful. And we have an afternoon with fun coaches, assistant coach, you like that, right? And we ask her those questions about this. Here's his friend. I think the people don't realize. One, Luciano said, Martin St. Louis maybe could get more out of the players. I always said they act differently. That's the difference between that. John Cooper had to buy his respect by the manners of how he built a team together, by all in and how he sell it to the players, how they sell the system. Maybe tell that we have not the kind of respect is, the Fred Panthers score Mr. ENORTAP and Brandon Montour, and that W go the Panthers per score 4-3.
That's all.
So
they stay alive. They stay alive another night.
Yeah, but again, like my point to you is about this, right? So I want to bring to you. So John Cooper have to sell those differently at Martin St. Louis. And he acts differently too. And he buy it, and everybody buy it when he show to the people. He had to win at different level before he get the NHL. And then after that, he have to prove the reason he is in NHL. So you have to survive mode. He was different at Martin St. Louis. Compared to Martin St. Louis. Martin St. Louis came with respect already. He make his name as a hockey player, right? So, but again, John Cooper is about the mindset. It's about communication. It's about how you build, really focusing on the team building, how you trust each other. And I can go deep with the passion, with the love, the care, and how we can build the culture of the Tampa Bay, how we buy all in. That's what John Cooper did. How he can get out of the modification is because he buy some, I will tell you, the role he make for each one of them. They give them some small goal example. And everyone come in the team like Boston Bruins, but it's all about their team, their brand, the culture, how they play as a team together. That's John Cooper get the best of the players, right? Now with 9 years experience and 10 years, whatever he has right now, he can sit Stamkos. He can sit Kucherov because that people now, he did it. He proved it. He's a winner of Stanley Cup twice, right? So he have those kind of reputation he built with time. But now it's friendly. Now he can do those kind of moves. But he would never do that at his first 3-4 years in NHL. That it would be not acceptable. So that's what you get from John Cooper. On the flip side, Martin St. Louis, but he's been there. He's been a hockey player. He knows the high and the low of a hockey career. And he always talking about play your game in that game. You have a reason why he said that. Because he really believes that whatever is your age, you cannot improve your skating, your abilities with your hands. It's not only, but you can improve your IQ, your hockey sense, your brain, your brain. And that's what Martin St. Louis tried to build with the Montreal Canadiens. And those kind of situations about that. We have almost at the end of the first period, guys, Flame 0, Ducks 0, by the way. So I just want to share, is another way to say that. So I think both of them are different style, Mr. ENORTAP, but they get out of everything for each one of them at the organization. And this came from, again, for the brand, for the culture, and for it how they want to play as a team together. That would be my best answer. I don't know if you want to add something or about that.
No. I think we hit most of the key points there.
Thanks so much. Gary Cournoyer asks you, would you give Belzit a 2-year contract?
That's a tough one. Given his age, I would probably lean more towards no at this stage. I mean, he's been quite the journeyman, and I know he's done well since he's come up here. I like what I do like about him is how he creates room for other players, how he communicates with his line mates, because I think we're seeing quite a change in Pizzetta's attitude, or not his attitude, but his production, I would say, um, because he does a lot of the dirty work. Belzil does, and he knows exactly, like you could tell they played together before, and they understand each other's roles. So that is enticing. But when you think about where the team is going, I don't know if there's a room on the roster for him next year, especially if you keep RHP.
Yeah, great point about this, Alex Belzil, about that. First of all, you watched my video today about I talk about the development by default, right?
Yeah.
Because the injuries create opportunities. And every one of them right now got opportunities. It's because they are buy in by the culture and the brand and the atmosphere Martin said we train, move forward. They pay evidence for the people like Belzil, RHP, and Pesada, everything like that. You nail it when you said he's helping other players. So you have a player who can call in hockey, it's called the play driver, driving. So the play driving is like they create space for other players. He carry on the puck or they make other players better around them. You're not born
Yeah.
to be a leader. You become a leader. That's a big fun in hockey or in any company you do. You're not born as a leader. You're going to become a leader. And that's what he became with the Montreal Canadiens. He grew like this in the organization with Laval Rocket. He take advantage, guys, on an opportunity, and he go all in, right? And he show by his intensity, his work ethic, effort, make a plus around him better. This is Alex Belzil. Now we have to be honest with you, like ENORTAP said. There may be no spot over there. So what you do, you can maybe give him 2 years. It's not a matter, Gary. But he's right now at 750. This is the lowest salary you can get in NHL. Yeah, no problem. I think they can add $900,000, increasing 150 if he make the Montreal Canadiens. What he can do is give him more money if he play with the Laval Rocket. He become a two-way players. And that's will be something they can get with Montreal. They can increasing his salary at $1 million if they want to for 2 years. They did the same thing with players last year. Pitlick, they got Pitlick last year. They did a Whiteman. They gave them an extra year. And that's, for me, that would be something like this. So I think they can consider him. Now, they can, of course, like they did with Michael Besada, they can give him a 1-year contract at full amount. So they can offer him a 1 year at 750 like he does, but whatever he play in NHL or an American Hockey League, but it's the same money. So they have different ways. But at the end of the day, Gary and ENORTAP, I don't know if you agree with me, they have to sign him to stay in this organization, Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way I can describe this about that. Willie Snyder, Mr. ENORTAP, is in the house.
Hey, Willie, how's it going?
Paul said, get rid of the blue jersey, Mr. ENORTAP. Yes,
Yeah.
it was not
Get
very
rid of him.
successful, so I'm sure next year he's going to have another way about this. Cooper play in hockey, and that's the trend, Luciano. I think he said he never played. Larry Watts, by the way, is in the house, Mr. ENORTAP. Larry, a good supporter of the Hockey National Show.
Hey, Larry.
And you're parking, but I was wrong. Willie. Never played, sorry, in the NHL. Larry, yeah, no problem. We got it. My friend, I played weak hockey. Lenny Cordero, embarrassing season. No chance about what the ways about that, Lenny. I would disagree with you, Lenny. First of all, we respect your opinion. It thanks to be with us. I don't think so. They play weak hockey. I think they prove the one they want to build about this one. An embarrassing season. No chance about what a way. So we said to you, Lenny, right? Think about the under the way. I always said, when you have half of your glass is full or is a half full or half empty. It depends how you see that. Think about this, Lenny. I'll just give you another perspective what I'm thinking, like you said. If they play bad all year long and they finish at the end of the year and they can kick out of the draft and they call select now number 3. What do you think about that? Now they lost. They don't build any development. They don't use the players, they shoot players, and they don't build culture. They don't build the brand, and you don't bring the team together because you want them to losing and all the way to the end, and then they don't draft Bedard because they cannot get this or the lottery. Someone get it. On the flip side, they finish 4, 5, 6, 7, and they try to play hard. They try to build the development. They try to build the team, the culture, the brand, the identification want to be. And then they win the NHL draft at the end of the year. What are you going to tell them? You now, if I listen to you, say, no, you cannot get better because now you win all year long. So you're going to tell them, no, we refuse to get better. We're going to take Will Smith. It's all depends. You see that. I see a lot of great things happening this year with the Montreal Canadiens. Is it great? Maybe not. But I think for the future, all the little things you win right now, you learn as a hockey team right there. It will pay off in 25 and 26 and 27. Remember what I just said? All the little things. And then sometime Martin said we said in the next 2-3 years. Remember, guys, when we got 13 players injuries? But that's what the start the building of the team. That's how I start my culture. That's what I start to my player buy in all in together. And that's why Martin Saint-Louis is really happy right now, Mr. ENORTAP, because right now he see the result. He see a little bit the little outcome of what he's trying to build. It's not great, but he can see the one step closer he want to accomplish. So when you want to build a wall, guys, it's only one brick at a time, not 3. It's you have to be sure the brick you build on the wall have to be perfectly at the right spot. It's tied with the next brick beside. And that's what Martin Saint-Louis is right now doing with the Montreal Canadiens. Again, Lanny, I have no problem with your statement. I just tried to tell you another perspective. Everybody have their own opinion. Some people told me in the past they don't like Martin Saint-Louis. They think he's a pee-wee coach. They think he should never play coach in NHL. And they still believe Martin Saint-Louis is not the man. That's okay. That's no problem with that. I have no problem with every respect or age or opinion. I'm just going to give you another pair of eyes of what I believe about this. I don't know, Mr. Hunter, you want to add something more?
No, I think you capsulized that well. It's just think of building a home. You can't fixate yourself on the finishes of a home because what's more important is the foundation of the home. Once you have that, then the finishings come later, and comes with time. You don't get the first round pick this year. It's okay. You're still going to get a couple of very good players, and they'll come into that culture that they've already built, that foundation, and that's what builds a team. There's many ways to get superstars on your team. It doesn't always have to be through the draft.
Yeah, absolutely about this. Paul is a fan of Montreal for 68 years, Mr. Natal. I'm glad to hear that. Gary Cournoyer have a good point about this. We don't have to go deep about this one there, but he said, look, no pressure in Tampa Bay for Cooper. Not sure Cooper will success in Montreal. It's a great point to see that. We don't know, right? But you think about a player never playing in NHL high level is Michel Terrier, Mr. Natal. Just give you a name quickly to earn my eyes, right? But I think it's Sean Cooper, because he don't speak French, he would never coach Montreal Canadiens. But yes, pressure is really an important point from Gary. I agree with him about this one there. Black Dragon is in the house, Mr. Natal. Welcome back, Black Dragon. We miss you. What happened to you for the last 7-8 days? Upgrading a brand, that's what low for the past 30 years. That's right to change the culture for a potential concern winning team. Black, you nail it, my friend. I agree with you about that. It's the player and the boss and the blue uniform can have not play well, but I agree, Blue Jersey are not the answer about Larry, about this one over there. The Blue Jersey make a big thing about this. Cooper has a team full of the superstar, while Martin Saint-Louis is coaching a team with no superstar whatsoever. Cooper will not last long in Montreal. I don't know about if he will say now. We have to remember before that, Mr. Enrabina, Cooper, when he pop up in NHL, yeah, all the star was not all there, right? And then when the all-stars show up, there was the same thing what happening right now with Martin Saint-Louis. They have to develop them. They have to make them better. They have to consist to be sure they understand how they want to play the culture of the Tampa Bay Lightning, starting with Steve Yzerman and then John Cooper And Rick Bonner's been coach over there, assistant coach. Remember that year, the many years he's been there
Yeah.
before. And I can go all the way like that, right? Many great assistant coach, now coach in NHL. Been Derek Ladon is another one. And I can go like this. But again, and it's not again you and Rabina. I just said every coach when they build a team like Jared Bednar, it's on a coach. He won in the past. Jared Bednar don't have an amazing, great career in NHL. But at the end of the day, he built that kind of reputation around as a coach, and he go there. Bruce Cassidy, look Ispat, look Bruce Goodrow, and East Coast Hockey League, and then American Hockey League. Many of them, they have a good career in hockey, by the way, but they have to build a reputation behind the bench for sure with time. And that's what playing with Cooper at the beginning. He built those kind of players, but yes, the pressure is not the same over there compared in Montreal.
And remember, Tampa Bay had to learn how to lose before they became a good team.
Yeah, it's like any team. I would say to you, usually you have to lose a couple of years before you become that team, right? Your Columbus got swept by Columbus, that opened the eyes. The Colorado Avalanche have to lose three of the 4 years back to back to become lose the first round or pass the second round, right? Many a time it was Minnesota Wild, by the way. They will look like they won the Stanley Cup, and we can go. Of course, you have always a Cendrillon team like the Blues. Never been go that route, but look at Pittsburgh Penguins. And they have to go losing before that. Boston Bruins, and I can go to Chicago and the Kings about that. So about this, Mr. We just give you an idea where we at, Mr. Top. Chicago Bears said the Chicago just tied the game. So that give you an idea where we at in the chat right now. So we're going to get out a little bit quicker. KLS is in the house, Mr. Top.
Welcome.
The weekend McDavid that felt big time. Jello have been absent since 0 year. Danny, you lied to us. You were born with skate on your feet and a jersey blue.
And we have proof
about that one over there. Too many times one pick or hype before the reach NHL. See Bear fan never count all the Hawks out. Agree also run, but also McDavid will run to a in the middle. We still, I believe. Steve G in the house, Mr. Top.
Welcome, Steve.
Pierre Martin is in the house, Mr. Top.
Hey, Pierre, how's it going?
There are reasons why I see I'm not impressed with Edmonton. Without McDavid, Trussell, they don't win game. Those two are the why they stay in the game, and they still fail McDavid, Trussell.
I don't know. Yesterday, neither one did very well.
Yeah, I can understand his point of view, Mr. Natap, on one side. Without Vasilevsky and Edmund, what do you think the Tampa Bay does?
Yeah, I mean, you can go through many of the teams in the league like that. Without Matthews and Marner, where would the Leafs be? You know, without Bergeron and Marchand, where would Boston be?
But
it's about the rest of the team. It's about
bingo,
everybody fitting into their own role and contributing. And yes, you're not going to get a 50 goal scorer out of somebody that's only ever scored 20, and so you need that superstar. But they have to contribute, and I think Edmonton right now, they're getting the difference that I see this year from last year is that they're getting contributions from many different sources that they weren't last year. Last year, I would agree more with that statement. If McDavid and Draisaitl weren't on top of their game, they weren't going to win. But this year, I see improvement. I see RNH has had one of his best years. I see Kane contributing. I see Hyman contributing. And you can go on. Even the defense has become a little bit more solid now. Hopefully the goaltending holds up.
But again, I believe now, if you want to qualify a good team in the top, it's not about winning the Stanley Cup in my eyes anymore. If you could reach the final conference, the top 4 at the end of the year, I think that's what you have to consider a great team in the NHL. Because you have only one team, Mr. Top, win the cup.
Yeah, it's so hard to win. It is.
So if they was gonna go through the final like they did last year, Mr. Top, I think there will be the biggest prop. You know what I mean? Like they cannot reach that level. I think it'll be saying. I think Toronto is another example. They are a good team, but it cannot be great team if they don't go reach that level and it shall at some point. So I can understand his point of view. I think they gave them better element of the team this season. Costin is example at the bottom of the six over there. I think they have better team understanding what it takes. But again, always remember, Trossard McDavid is going to carry on that team, but it's going to be always someone behind them. Could be Hyman, it could be Kane, it could be Yamamoto, it could be the goaltender. I don't know. I just want to mention, always someone
Nugent
behind.
Hopkins,
Every time Tampa Bay won the Stanley Cup, right? Remember the goal of Yanni Gord, a 1-0 game, and then again the New York Islanders. I think it was. Yeah, it was. I think it was Yanni Gord. It was Palmieri lost his man on PK, and that's the way they eliminate the Islanders. Remember when they beat the Montreal Canadiens 1-0 at the end of the game number 5, a goal of Ross Colton. We don't talk about Senkos, right? How many times we talk about Palat in the playoff? There's always someone obscure behind the door is going to pop up during those kind of big years. Again, I understand your point of view, Ron. Absolutely right. But he need more. The Crosby years when he win, right? You have other players contribute on that one. Pascal Dubuis is one example of that. I can go all the way like that. You understand, Mr. Natal, what I'm talking about. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gary said, question one, the drafting trade fee free agent the player would have to fit in the app culture or is not deal?
I agree. I agree 100% with that.
Yep.
You don't just go pick up a player and then he doesn't fit your model. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Everybody look at high each other, so that's great to see that. Randy called the Dogs going to win tonight. The Panthers win 4-3. I hope Martin St. Louis can understand this multi-million-dollar player. It's like herding a cat, Larry Lavallee. Talk about the players. Good team, make great coaches. That help for sure. That's an 18. Real deal is in the house. Mr. Tap, the deal.
Welcome, Real.
So I always said Bones coach is a great coach this season.
The Bruins coach, Montgomery.
Jim Montgomery.
Yeah. Is he a good coach? I think he's a good coach. And not just because of what he's done, with Boston. I think he brings a certain cash to the team, and that's cash with a CHE. I think the players respect him. I think he has definite ideas of what the team has to do to get to the next level. And those are some of the things that it makes him successful. Like you got to keep in mind, Coach, every coach that comes along, they click with they don't always click with a particular group of players, right? For the most part, they come in, and as long as they try to be themselves and bring out their best quality, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. When Jacques Demers was with Montreal, it wasn't because he was a great X's and O's person. It was because, he would go through the wall for the players, and the players would go through the wall for him. He was a motivator. When Pat Burns was here, very emotional, but he brought an intensity to the game. Same thing when he went to Toronto. So every coach, Tortorella, develops his brand a different way. The question is, do you have enough of those players in line that believe with that same philosophy? If you do, you're going to go far. If you don't, what's the old saying? Every coach is hired to be fired.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But this is a great story. Jim Montgomery, guys, if you don't follow him a little bit, just give you a brief resume of him. First of all, he was playing in the NHL as a bottom six. A couple of teams he played with Montreal Canadiens at some point. He played with St. Louis Blues. I can go the way like that about Jim Montgomery. He was not a great hockey player, born in Montreal, by the way. But he built his reputation at the lower level hockey, and then he won the final NCAA final with the Denver Pioneer as a coach for there. After he coached for there 4 years, he got hired after that play coach in the NHL. Now a lot of people talk about this one. Yeah, the player make a coach better. You're right, but the coach have to put the line together. They said, well, but he's in Boston, Bergeron, everything. But the player does not run the team. It's the coach behind the bench tell them who sent this at 3:45. You have a face-off at the right side. I want the scores 2-2. Do I send Charlie Coy? Do I send Patrice Bergeron or Paul Zeka? Whatever it is, right? So it's the decision of the coach behind that. So Jim Montgomery right now, with of course, he said, oh, but it's Boston. It's easy to coach. It's not easy to coach. It's easy.
It's harder.
It's harder because you have to consist winning night after night. That's not done yet. It's going to be harder because the playoff now, they won the President Trophy already, and they have to prove now. Yeah, they are the only team can lose the Stanley Cup is them. They're over 30% chance to win the Stanley Cup, at 39-43, I believe. So they have right now nothing. Yeah, everything is against him right now. So you have to figure out something there. And I think my only concern about the Boston Bruins, about him, is inexperience as a coach and the playoff. He had only one run. He lost game number 7, and he said after a month after that, he was out coached, and he struggled about that. That's what I'm looking for him behind the bench during the playoff. That's something we need to figure out. I can see yesterday at 4-3 minutes again in Montreal, he's getting excited behind the bench. He was trying to talk with the players. He thought that will be a good question to follow him during the playoff, Mr. ENORTAP, about him. Jim Montgomery about looking unless the people talk each other. Coach, on today, NHL need to aspire and not demanding just the way the new NHL is today. It's inspiring, and yes. So when you talk about this, now I really believe a team should be a coach. It should be a credo. Let your egoists out right there at the door, right? Be accountable. But the coach have to prove and have to show his willingness to serve, to care, and to love, and take each player as his own kids. And he had to prove this to the 23 players he has in front of him. Not only 3, not only 5, not only 9. He had to sharing that forward. Again, I look at the TOI yesterday. It's absurd to see Suzuki 25 minutes yesterday. It's absurd to see Mike Madison at 31 minutes yesterday, in my opinion. And what we had at that season, the season does not count too much. But again, I just want sharing that part. But again, Martin, we need to get prove better. He said himself, I need to get better with my goalie situation too. But as you're right, you have to inspire them, and the way you communicate is really the way you make them better, motivate them, and reach the personal goal and reach the team goal at the end of the night, at the end of the year. So that's happened there. Cooper came in the front door while Martin came in the back door. Martin is doing a great job. Absolutely right about this. We never said he's don't do a great job. I think he's doing an amazing, great job, Mr. ENORTAP. Pierre-Martin Belzile, 31. If you can tell, his hockey son is mature, a journeyman making $750 a year. Does his job. He loves a dream job. Is a dream job. You're absolutely about this. Well said. Don't get me wrong. Boston is a spare team this year. You're absolutely about this. Particularly make the playoff want to play for him is a good motivation. You're absolutely right about this. Very true part. So always said the trade and move they him. I agree. And I don't see that. And coach like a cave, obviously. RG give us some update. Thanks so much about this one over there. Keith bring out the best out of his top 4, but he struggled with a supporting cast.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I think I think he's not doing a bad job in Toronto. I just think, in what I saw in the playoffs the last couple of years, that's where I think the problem a little bit is. He's not adjusting to the game as the game, modifies during the first and second period, and how he has to change his lines. He's always been very strict in terms of what lines he's kept together, and he hasn't been flexible in that degree, and how to think the game through as it's live, as it's flowing, as it's fluent. And that's the only thing I would say about Keith, because otherwise he's very knowledgeable. He knows the game very well, but I think he has to adapt a little bit better, especially in the playoffs.
You're absolutely right about this. First of all, Mr. Natap, um, he came interim by Cock. He finished third in division. Final year, he finished first. Second year, full time, he finished second. And now he's going to finish second and that year. Does it make sense?
Yeah,
And I tried to give you a little bit more information about I was looking about is so last year, the year before, and when the year he got Bangkok was interim, right? They're all
yeah,
3 years lost in first round.
right.
I could be wrong. I think 3 years ago he lost first round against Boston. I could be wrong that one. I'm not sure.
That would have been the bubble year, I think. I think that
Yes,
wasn't it? Was it Columbus?
it
No,
could be. I
am
cannot
I?
remember that one. Whatsoever, Mr. Tap. Year number two, they play against Montreal Canadiens. They finished in
Yeah.
7 games, right? Year number
Yes,
three,
7 games.
right? He played against Tampa Bay. They
Tampa
finished
Bay.
game number 7, right? They lost again. My point behind that, guys, it's like anything. He's growing and he's getting better, better, better year after year. And you have to go through that outcome or that situation before you win. You get experience. You know now if you play game number 7, first time versus now, he's a better coach, Mr. Tap. He go through those
Yes.
events, those circumstances. Like any hockey player guy, how do you prepare for game number 7? I'm sure many of them will be nervous all day long, right? It's not easy to calm down and to because this is game number 7. This is the game of your life for the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So everybody have to do this. My point behind this, Mr. Tap, the hardest thing in hockey is to learn to become a hockey professional player. And to do that, it takes time. It takes to learn
Yeah.
the work ethic, the routine, the nutrition, and everything. You cannot go to the bar. It takes maturity, everything like that. The Toronto Maple Leafs are never been that way with that. It's a mindset game for them now. It's the all they're going to be judged is about the first round. Remove that tag around the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mr. Tap. All nobody talk about the first round. I can tell you that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to perform better because your game number 2, game number 3, number 5. Now the is coming back. The record's coming back, and whatever is Matthew, Riley, or Simons, it's affect you. You tie up, you stick. You're a little bit more nervous. You don't want. Here we go again, again, again. It's how when you're going to go through that one there. You're going to see a dangerous, better Toronto Maple Leafs. And if ever they win this year, the first round, they lose second round, Mr. Tap, pay attention to them next year. Because after that, nobody can talk about the first round anymore. And now that's Shan
Oh
here.
yeah. Yeah.
It's a game of mental, guys. It's a
Mindset.
mindset game.
Yeah.
And how many times,
Yeah.
Martin, should we talk about confidence? Believe on yourself, right? And build those kind of confidence inside of you. And look, Justin Barron example. Look about Belzil, Ilonen the last couple of games. The confidence they believe in themselves first, and then the opposite they got in front of them, and they feel better on the ice. So again, I'm not a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. I'm just talking about coaches. That's why really I'm specialized in that part of there. So I just want to give you another option about Cave. At the end of the day, he's the first number one best winning percentage historic as a coach. It's just the result is not there yet, right? And the result, how you qualify the result this year, it's a minimum second round.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
That's
I wouldn't even say you have to wait till next year. I think if they can clear that monkey off their shoulder in that first round, you're going to see a different level of confidence with the Leafs that could take them far.
yeah. And Ash asked this question: do you see that Montreal Canadiens seeing some UFA 1 or 2 million to flip them at the deadline for the picks?
I don't see it that way. No, not just for that sole purpose. If they pick up a free agent, I think it'll be because they feel they have a future possibly with the team and how what direction they're going, right, and for the future. But I don't see them just picking them up so that they can flip them. I think they have enough players that if they wanted to, like maybe Monahan comes back and therefore he gets traded at trade deadline time. You still have Dvorak. You still have possibly Armia. There's a few players that they could do that with.
Now, on the flip side, to explain this for LH, again, another perspective, I would say to you, it's going to be a contrast where they can get a bad contract, Mr. Tap, like Sean Mannion last year at $6.3 million, 6.5, and try to sell this at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
All right. So now, I'm not saying Sean Mannion this year, but it could be, I don't know. Any player you think you can sign a UFA, but I don't think so. They're going to get, a player like 26 years old for UFA that way over there. I don't see Montreal sign any UFA big amount about that one over there. I still believe, and I don't know, it's coming very soon, guys. I'm studying right now about Pierre-Luc Dubois with Montreal next season. That's what I'm looking about that one over there because, you can wait one more year, it can become UFA. But I think the Jets are going to have a really important off-season, Mr. Tap. And they know they have to sell him. Because if you say, they can trade to any team at the trade deadline, right? But I would say that, Mr. Tap, who's going to give them a first-round pick, a top prospect A, and X pick number 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, 3 assets for Pierre-Luc Dubois at the trade deadline, when the player already said, we're not going to go nowhere.
Right, exactly. It's not happening.
So I believe, and again, if Montreal looking to get him or to get that players with the Montreal Canadiens, it could happen this summer.
Yeah, it would have to. I mean, as much as we say we want to wait and be patient, I mean, if he's truly dedicated to coming here, even if he does get traded somewhere else, he's not gonna go beyond that 1 year. He'll refuse. He won't do what Huberdeau did, right? Huberdeau went, then he got offered an 8-year contract. He signed it. The game is over. But if Huberdeau was true to his word, where he said he would love to finish his career in Montreal, he wouldn't have signed that 8-year deal because he would have probably waited. Now, of course, you run the risk. Does Montreal want you at that point, right? And same thing with Pierre-Luc Dubois. You just don't know. I think they do because I think of his age and what he brings. He's a very solid centerman, and he brings a physicality to the game. He can put points up on the board. It would help you down the middle.
You don't have a player like him, Montreal, with whatever people say, what he did with Columbus, Winnipeg when I want to get out, right? Take out this or his equation, right? Montreal Canadiens don't have any player like Pierre-Luc Dubois with Montreal. Size-wise,
no.
Talent-wise, skill-wise, not established like he is right now with Montreal Canadiens, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Now, my point behind that, and we know we're out of the subject, it does my problem here, guys. I should never put a title because I never talk about the title, Mr. Tap. But my point behind that, Mr. Tap, the Jets are tied up. Because whatever they expect to get high in return, they're never going to reach this level. So the cost of the prize, it could be the first round pick of the Panthers. Or they could wait, keep this, and give them the first round pick 2024, protected top 10, with a Riley Kidney, right? Or maybe a Sean Farrell. Again, it could be Philippe Mazar, example. I don't know. Another quality top prospect, Montreal Canadien, and add a second round pick. That's it. That's all. Or you can add Norlander or Jordan Harris if you want to. But if I was Montreal Canadien, that's the best I can do for them.
Yeah, no, that's well said, and that's why we've accumulated our prospects, developed them, because you can't sign them all. And not all of them are obviously going to make it as well. So,
or the guarantee, Mr. Tab, or the 13th pick, right? Or 14, 15, whatever it is, right? The guarantee is going to make it. Nobody knows. What you got with Dubois, you get it. It's something like happening with Doc last year. You get a 13th pick. You don't know if Nazar is going to make it. The only thing you know, Doc become a better hockey. He's better. He's getting better right now.
And that's why even this year at trade deadline time, as much as it's a good draft class, how many first-round picks did we see move?
We got like 7, 6, I believe.
Yeah, 6 or 7. because GMs are thinking the same way. I'm getting this established player that'll bring us over the top against, yeah, it's a first round pick, but it's a low one. And there's no guarantee that they're ever going to be more than maybe a second, third line player.
Yeah, and most of the time, the first pick they trade, they get an extension for the player they get in return.
Right.
A great conversation there. We're going to continue about this one over there. Do you see the ad? We'll get that answer. They can still be traded today. Still, but they cannot get play and then NHL cannot play in NHL. Gotcha. Thanks. The ad are building player. They can trade later if the way they say it. Pierre Martin. It would be your pleasure. One the Flame burn the Ducks. Randy. 1-1, Mr. ENORTAP, the Ducks and the Calgary Flame. Calgary scored the first goal, but tied the game right now, 1-1 about this. Is the leader of the triplet treat with Attaway and Bertuzzi about this. Jekai will kill the rat on the ice for that one. Marchand left his head. Here we go. Zef Lecab is out. Leave down for the first one with O'Reilly out. Zef Lecab. I think O'Reilly is back before 1 or 2 weeks before the game. The season is over, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm confident he'll be back.
Do you think next year Ilonen is a swim or sink with the Habs?
He's starting to fall into the Belzil category in discussion, and maybe, somebody like Ilonen becomes part of that. What Coach was just talking about. You're trying to get somebody like a Pierre-Luc Dubois. You have to throw him in with that first round pick, and that's part of the equation. I know it might not be enough on its own. You might have to throw some other prospect or picks in there, but they're working from a position of strength.
Yeah, absolutely about that one over there. Yes. Let's I was already thinking about the next question. Is there anyone the trade at the trade deadline won't be resigned and maybe pick up by the Montreal Canadiens?
Is there anyone that was traded at the trade deadline? I don't know. That's a good question. Again, we're going
quick
to
on my head.
RFA. No.
Quick on my head. I think right now John Klingberg.
I don't know if I would go there, Coach. I don't know if I would go there. I'd rather see. I think we'll see Edmondson probably leaving. So you're going to still have Savard and probably Matheson from an experience point of view.
Yeah, but you don't have anything on the right defenseman. Yeah, I only have right now a Savard with Barron and Whiteman.
But remember, you're going to have eventually,
Kovacevic.
if not next, and
next but year, my point, because his question is, I would say Klingberg, you can give him a contract, a 2 years contract, something like that, $4 million or $3 million, for 2 years before you build Mayu, everybody. I think it could be a good asset on power play, but now I'm not sure it will do it because that money you can give it to other ways, to other options for them for that. So that's a great point. And the Anaheim Ducks, Mr. ENORTAP, take the lead 2-1, I believe.
All right, Anaheim,
yeah. So
really, pick up 2 points. Pick up 2 points.
Crazy about that. So my point behind that is that's happening there for that. I was Toronto, Mr. ENORTAP. The player was targeting, it would be Bertuzzi or Attaway.
If you were who? Toronto?
Yes.
Yeah, Bertuzzi would bring a good sandpaper to the team, a guy that can score, a leader. Yeah,
if I'm Florida Panthers, Mr. ENORTAP, I give a contract to $2.53 million to Attaway.
Maybe.
They don't have those kind of players at the bottom six for the Panthers. They need a guy like that. The last player was him. It was Mason Marshman.
Is Lars Eller a free agent?
Yes,
I think he's a free agent. Like he would fit in Florida too, I think.
No, because they have the line is already built. The center line is already built. Like Sam Bennett, Barkov and Lundell.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? He can add the Serenin, by the way. Oh, Mr. Octavio Ferreira back in the house.
Octavio, welcome.
Great point about this, Octavio. For me to think of Saint Martin contre les Exclusives Montreal. Patient. Excellent, guys, for all the like we got tonight. Don't forget to click on the like. If you did not do it, that'd be awesome. And Roger, Mr. Tap, knock the door. Welcome back, Mr. Roger.
Welcome, Roger. Bro.
Do I know you, NHL? Willie, do you think the app will have a good growth a second year defenseman next season to make a big difference?
A good group of second year.
Yeah, so I
I
think
think
he
that's
thought maybe
exactly.
another creative plus come back. No, I don't think so. Nobody would make it. I don't see it. Lane Hudson or Mayu going to make the Montreal Canadiens next season. They're going to deal with what they already have overall.
Well, you got to figure. I still believe. I still believe Matheson might be gone during the summer.
Edmondson.
Sorry, not Matheson. Sorry, Edmondson.
Yeah.
And I gotta believe that the guys like Weidman, Schuneman won't be around. You know, yes, you do have that core group still intact. I would not be surprised if he has a good training camp. Maybe Logan Mailou might make it. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't see that. I think because he did not play a lot of game in the last 2 years. For me, I think he need more reps. I think he need to one more year in the OHL. It could become the Laval Rocket necessary, but I don't think so. He's going to be with Montreal next season.
Yeah.
Because they are not right now on the urgency to bet someone there
to bring
put
him out.
someone there. That would be my only concern about my only point about that one. Yeah.
This year they were desperate.
Yes, but they have, they start the season with many injuries. Coach enjoy the beach tomorrow. Good night. And after Paul, I think Paul, look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Good night.
I'm not saying Edmonton is a bad team. No, I know that you said that they are a great team. I just said two those players bring the team back into the game. It could win just to fail too hard work of those two. They have a good roster. You're absolutely right about this run. I got it very perfectly. The Rocket, Mr. Tap, won tonight overtime 2-1 to get a Syracuse crunch. Our friend RG make this very good. I love it. Coach Harris and the Rack now injured. All the ad actually shutting down the player with minor injuries. Not allowed. When you said that, they were they just to be sure they have a for Harris. Honestly, was something continuous. The rack is it's just like it's the first time he got hurt since the beginning of the season. That's a game. It's just happened again. Martin said we said before the press conference yesterday. He said, I wake up the morning, I go at the office. I'm not sure who's going to play tonight because everything could happen. He said, we change the player all the time. I don't see this as a move to make an impact for the standing. It's just happening.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't disagree with it, Coach, but by the same token, something that maybe if they were pushing for a playoff spot, I think maybe these players come back a little bit earlier. Right now, they're saying
of course, that's will be another language right there. Yes. Now they can put someone a little bit longer on the out of the lineup of definitely. But the way I read answer is question. That's the way I said that. Now, Anthony Richard guy is an emergency call. So he's not like a regular call. Does not count for the Montreal Canadiens as the count of the four. They still Montreal are only two to go to the end of the year.
Two more.
You got to give credit for Martin Saint-Louis as assistant coach. Also, they make a great team.
Interesting. I'm not 100% sold on that yet. Like I don't know. I look at Burrows right now, and I'm not convinced that he's doing a great job. And I have no basis except for the fact that he's been given the portfolio of the power play for the most part. And I know recently it's gotten a little bit better, but it's still in the lower part of the league. So
Not
I'm
really.
just looking at it.
They are in the top 10 in power play. Well, maybe not now with the last 3 games, but they
No.
are the top 10 until the last week in NHL. They was at 25 or 26 since the All-Star game.
Oh, since the All-Star game. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm talking about all year long.
Oh, yeah,
They're
now they
still
are
in
at
the
the bottom because they
bottom.
restart. Now, why
Yeah.
the power play does not work, Mr. Tap?
Well, first of all, they've been experimenting with many different players, right? Like,
Yeah,
you're
at
in
the
trouble
beginning
when,
because he did not focus on that,
yeah.
right? He really don't
And
focus. The second
you,
layer, we said to
and
you,
you
the
have,
personnel, the players. You get now
yeah, exactly.
a quarterback
Yeah.
defenseman like Madison, change the puck
Yes.
movement, everything like that. I think they become better that way with that. I think a better personnel with them that will helping them to get a better power play at the end of the day. For me, whatever you talk about Burrows, everything, Litovsky brings some stabilities behind the bench for me. I think
Yes.
Litovsky
I
talk very
agree.
well. He's really well known as a good coach behind the bench, everything like that. But for me, my biggest surprise is Stefan Robidas. The way he controlled all the defensemen in the beginning of the year. You can check all defensemen in center tap. And 90%
Yeah.
of them, the player is better today compared at the beginning of the year. Zach
Yeah.
Barron,
Oh, yeah.
Kovacevic, Savard Missanatap plays best season for the last 5 years in NHL.
Yeah.
Madison played better a year, right? Edmondson, okay. Then after that, Aris better, Jekai better. And you know what I mean? Like, I think you have to give credit for Stefan Rabdes again, never coached in the NHL, and to adjust himself, responsible. But that's what he bring, guys. They bring some kind of respect and some kind of the, the experience as a hockey player, and they understand the head of the players. They knows what it takes. They've been there before, and they realize what they have to work on it. And I think that's an advantage for Montreal Canadiens. Whatsoever they are young, they make mistakes like anything like that, right? By the day, I think we have to give credit for Stephen Robdos. And then we have to give credit for Eric Raymond, the goalie coach, Mr. Top, with Jake Allen and Samuel Montembeau. Montembeau was on fire for
Yeah.
until like
Without a doubt.
month
Yeah.
ago. And Jake Allen sent All-Star game or sent his back when injury. He's on fire.
Absolutely.
Great question about this.
He's managed them well.
If Coach Ab is a guarantee they will win the Stanley Cup in 2093, I'm not sure I will be dead a long time ago, Mr. Danny. The team always start at the top. We have had a great coach over the years. Start with the Toe Blake for me, Larry Lavallee. Toe Blake, one of the great coach for that. Here we go, King in the house, Mr. Top. Be ready. Out of the line outside Logan Mailloux, Adam Angson, if they can reach their full potential, what role they will play in Montreal? Also, do you think Michel Tournier has a chance?
Well, the hope, I guess, for Hudson will be possibly a number 2
Now,
on
can
the
I give you
team.
the best
And
answer of the Martin Saint Louis?
sure.
All right. He will said, Mr. King, we know the floor, but we don't know the ceiling. And it's hard to tell you the ceiling, but we can give you the floor. And that's what the best answer will give to you. So Hudson, Mayu, and Armstrong, right? And they'll get there. Now, on this said to you, for me, Michel Tourigny could become a good player for the Laval Rocket a little bit. He's a French Canadian guy. He can stay here, play a good role for the Montreal. But I don't see him with the Montreal Canadian in NHL.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
But you can consider your point of view. I'll just give you the answer of the Martins anyway.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's a fair comment because you just don't know where they're going to go from here. I mean, so far it's promising for all 3 of them, especially Engstrom. I think he looks like he's going to be a good one as well. But yeah, we'll have to see how they adapt to the NHL. That's the other
Now, he
part
will
of the
ask you what
equation.
kind of road do you can see them. What kind of road do you see with the Montreal Canadiens? So we can maybe go a little bit deeper about that. What kind of road do you see them?
Yeah, and that's what I sort of was alluding to. I mean, I could see Hudson as the number 2, pretty much quarterbacking the power play as well. Melo will probably be a number 4, a second line defenseman, possibly third, but he brings that physicality to the game and he's got a good shot. And he could also play on the power play because he's got a very strong shot, right?
And he could play
And
where?
and he could play anywhere, right?
On PK.
He's right. Yeah, yeah, on the penalty kill as well.
Yeah.
Very punishing, very punishing.
Yeah. Now,
And
Armstrong,
you
I
can,
don't know if you know him a little bit or.
uh, yeah, I mean, I think he's a very good skater, Engstrom. His problem, I think, will be, uh, I don't know offensively what production. He's had a good year, if I'm not mistaken, this year,
Not
right?
and they have a bad year as a player, as a
Yeah,
number of the point as a defenseman over there, right?
but
For the number of the
defensively,
minute
he's
he play,
solid.
everything like that, right? But he's good, of course, on defensive zone too. You can see the
Exactly.
at the WCGC, you have the kind of offensive. Um, the best way I can compare him right now in my eyes is Brett Kulak.
Yeah,
And
right.
it could be better. But you know, what I mean, that kind of player you can expect with Brett Kulak in NHL. Now he's going to develop, we don't know, but that's what my expectation for him. But great question, King, about this. About that, Madison has been a big surprise. I think we have to QB need. We need, but it was not the one we expected.
That's very true.
I,
Like
I
ideally,
completely agree with
you would
him.
like
I,
it.
I thought he was fast, but he's faster what I thought he is right now. And he can create those
Oh, he's
kind
a
of
great
open space.
skater.
If you can have a hole, Mr. Tap, he go through the seam all the time. Like he will see the seam all the time. And that's what is a good hockey player. Confidence, and he never play over 23 minutes per game. He play now 28, 27, 29. And he look like he's overload his charge. And he can tire, can see in last game, he's get tired at the end of the game, right? A mental mistake. I'll give you an example. The third goal of the New York Rangers is on the corner, try to go in the backhand to get the puck out, get intercept the puck at the blue line. That's a mental mistake. This coming from the tire. You're tired. You're tired.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how you work in
exactly.
hockey. But you have to give
Yeah.
credit. Zeb, I agree with you. Do you think Frederic Deschaux would bounce back from a disappointed season? I don't know, King. This is a guy that goaltender. If you have expectation, it could be one side and it could be to other side. If you watch, I watched the interview at the beginning of the year for the assistant coach, a goalie for the Sweden, and the head coach. That was the expectation. They signed him a contract 2 years as a free UFA. They gave him a backup number, a goalie number 2 after the two goaltender left, but they signed back one of them. But you have a disappointed season with them. It's happened to anybody. It's how he's going to respond now. How he's going to come back stronger, better next season. And I think for him, he will have to consider this if it's possible to get a couple of time with the Montreal Canadiens. If they could do that, I think it'll be a benefit for him to acclimate Mr. Natap at the North America around. I think that would be a good way. So what you try to do for a young man, you have a very bad season, you try to changing a little bit the perspective in front of him. Let's go back 2 weeks in Montreal Canadiens, go back around the team, learn about what Montreal look like, put him with Eric Raymond, with the assistant coach or the Laval Rocket, teaching him during the offseason, maybe stay 1 month here, and he can learning about what it takes to play with Montreal. So he get another source of motivation for the year 23, 24, Mr. Natap, and that would bring him to come back stronger for the following year with From London if you have to return over there.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm on fire, Coach. Coach
You're
is
on
on
fire,
fire,
Coach.
Mr. Natap, tonight on the Friday night. Tough night, Mr. Natap. Wallet size, and it was a tough night, Mr. Natap. I bought a GoPro 11 for my video and talent, and then I go out last night, and it was cost again. It was hard.
What time were you home, Coach?
I knocked the door at 3:30, and I go to bed at 4:15.
Oh boy!
And I wake up at 6:45.
Oh,
but I stay on the bed until 8. But I have to be honest with you, I stay on the bed until 8. I'm watching my news, everything like that. But I was late tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because of that one there. And I tried to have a live at 38 years old in Thailand. Does not work, Mr. Natap. Does not work anymore. I'm the oldest people at 3 o'clock in the morning on the street in Thailand, I believe. But that's not sorry for the time. It's not true.
I doubt that.
It's funny, Mr. Natal, how this works. Like the people go eat after that. You can get a soup with something inside for 50 baht for what? 180, 150, I believe. 190. Yeah, 165, I think. So you take a soup, you take the tuk-tuk. Tuk-tuk take 20 minutes, and he bring you all the way to the end, and they go back home. And that's happening to me tonight. But it's not a story for the time. It's on top.
Oh boy.
On top is thinking, Danny, where is Ellen tonight? I have no clue. Newfoundland, where is Melissa tonight? She came back earlier. Martin St. Louis has done a great job. My only criticism is too much too high for some players and too little others. Do you agree?
Agree totally.
Absolutely right about this
We've
one.
seen
We
it.
just talked about Madison last game, 31 minutes. This is key, 25 minutes. About that, L and Son. I think if, and I can understand they play almost 5 minutes, 5 defensemen, LH. But I think for the this is key. I think you should balance a little bit more his time. I think you should never go over 20, 21 minutes. Whatever is the best player from Montreal Canadiens is not considered like a Jack Hughes yet at 1 point per game yet. So I think he should balance a little bit more his line. But again, LH on this defense of Martin St. Louis, guys, when you're missing 12 regular players or 10 regular players, right? It's changed everything.
Yeah, everything's off. Yeah,
off course.
Everybody's in different.
Yeah. So that's one thing I can give it to him about that one there. 2-1, the Ducks, guys, after 40 minutes. People only another game said they'll play anybody, but they may believe. King said, what do you think Montreal Canadiens has to do in the next few years to become a top 4 team in NHL? I think they can go far in the playoff.
Well, it would start nicely if we won the sweepstakes this year and got Connor Bedard. That would go a long way to reaching that goal. But short of that, I mean, they're going to have to address the wingers, I think, on the team. They're going to have to address possibly their fourth line a little bit more. Goaltending, as we talked about. They still need a true number one that could, that could carry the team like a Shesterkin can. And, if they, going back to our previous question about a Pierre-Luc Dubois, like if he came here, I think not only does he take over the number one centerman, and therefore, by default, he's going to make Suzuki even better because as the number 2 centerman, I think he will be able to produce more. He'll have a little bit less ice time.
Yeah, I would send that one over there, Mr. Top. I would consider your answer, and I will ask you that question after that. Does it make sense? So I would say to me, for Montreal to be the way they want to be, it's easily for me a goaltender. That's the number 1 spot over there.
Yeah.
That would take a top 6 extra good forward. So a point per game minimum. That would be another one there. For the rest, Mr. Tap, I have to wait. Why? Because we have a lot of good prospects coming. So I cannot add another defenseman or add this because we have Mayo, we have Hudson over there, and we are already to build Jacky, Coley, and the rest. Does it make sense? So I don't want to add one more yet.
No,
then we have Farrell, Roy, Mézard, you know what I'm talking about. So for me, top 6 priority over there. What the reason I would not put Dubois as a center number 1, you like to have some kind of the line on top. If you have a winger like Dubois and you remove Zuski for the face-off, or you want to use Dubois on the one side to other side of the circle, but now you have 2 center at the same line over there, and Dubois is really the one can make a big strength as a winger. And you can keep Zuski with Doc over there. Now you can move Dubois center, bring Doc 1 or 2 line with Zuski. You can mix those kind of merge mutation players, everything like that. But for me, top 6 goaltender, my opinion right now. The next 2 years, 24 months, that will give you an exactly what it looked like. Mézard, Farrell, Roy, those 3 forward with Reddy Kidney example, and plus the 2-1 we're going to draft. The Will Smith example and Devoski example. I'll just give you 9 right there. That would be my 2 location, top 6 players, and a goaltender.
Yeah.
I think that would be the right place about that. And that, let's see the development of other players, Mr. Razak.
Agreed.
Let's move on for a little bit later. Coach may believe, he should not believe on themselves. You get ready first, leave out first round. We'll see what happening about it. The Flame 1-0. Mr. the top 1-0, Mr. the Flame long time ago. I don't see this group, the Maple Leafs doing that, getting back in the first round. Autocorrect. It's okay. We read you very well. Thanks so much for update, RJ. I don't know, Randy, with all this, heard from Team Canadien with a room. Kings, with Edmondson, Devorak, Drouin, and possibly Moment, do you think it would be easier to acquire a first round pick 2024 or 2-round pick?
For 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible with Monahan. Like I said, if
But
they,
now, pay
they were to
attention right now, Mr. Tap, and I'll explain to King too.
yeah,
Monahan is already out. So you cannot get anything in return.
well, technically not. I think if they can re-sign him for less,
Oh, but that's
and
that's a subject about that one there, right? If they can resign him, you can see that. But at least the market is really low, and at least he get a 60-point season. I don't see any teams going to give a first round pick without conditional to a Monahan because his past are injuries.
yeah, that's fair. That's a fair comment
For me. Now, it can become maybe a second round pick. After what you see on your list, Mr. Tap, Drouin will be gone. That's nothing about that.
Yeah,
Edmondson, I don't see a first round pick.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe a second.
I agree with you. Devorak is really interesting, King. He's not a first center. He's barely a second center, but he play a effect about this. So go back to less LR trait. That'll give you an idea what he can get in return.
Yeah, he's a solid third line center.
Yeah, so that's what you get there. So all your answer, I would say none of them can get a first round pick. Mr. Tap, we are great here. We are great.
How about all three together?
More likes on the chat here, guys. That'd be great. You can add more likes, but that's a great show. We got. We provide a lot of people tonight. Dubois, Zuski, Doc, down the middle. Sound very stacked. Where would Owen Beck play after that one over there? But Beck can be inside that. Like if you think about Doc and Dubois, example, both of them can move. Yeah, so it's not like end of the world. And we forgot to mention Owen Beck between Mezal and Farrell, everything like that. That's a great one. We forgot him about that. So very smart about this one there. So that gave Montreal a solid line, Mr. ENORTAP.
Absolutely.
And we don't talk about the next one, right? For me, next one could be Will Smith, example. And that would be help. It's another great prospect for the Montreal Canadiens. Have the armor of the Jet with Dubois trait. Yeah, I agree with you. You know what I mean?
Have the hammer with the Jets. Yeah, I think the Jets are in a bad situation. You know, no matter how you slice and dice it. I would say the writing's on the wall. But I personally do not believe he's going to sign with Winnipeg.
But right now is the problem with them, Mr. Tap, is like he become a RFA. After that, become a UFA.
Yeah.
He get a 6.6 now for this season, right? And now they're not going to give him a 3 years contract. So they are limited again on the signature for 1 year. So if I'm right now the GM of the Jet, I try to trade him this summer to the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, or somewhere else.
You know, but there's somewhere else. He had to sign a long-term contract over there.
Exactly. And
now the money talks sometimes, right? You never know.
Sure.
Just sharing that part of there. Angelo, some think if the league cannot sign Matthews this summer, the league would have to trade him. That's another thing about that one over there for Angelo. That's 100%. A great point about that. If they knew they're not going to resign him,
they have to trade him.
I think the maturity of Mitch Marner, the way he become, he will not to affect the duo anymore. Like, oh no, they always been together. I think now they don't play the same line, change everything. And the fact maturity of Mitch Marner become an icon over there. I don't see. I think that would be possible. Imagine you put Austin Matthews, Mr. Tap, on the trade market. What do you get in return?
Well, you're going to get quite a haul, I think, and that's why this summer becomes exceedingly important for Toronto to know exactly what his intentions are. Because
Yes.
if he doesn't plan on re-signing, then you got to get rid of him right away. You cannot come into next year and try to hope to do something in the year, because it's not going to happen. Teams will wait for him to become a free agent,
Yes.
and and you're up the creek.
You're absolutely about that one over there. Pierre Martin said, would you trade the Rangers trade Alexis Lafrenière?
I don't think they will. I think they like Lafreniere, and they're willing to, because they have other players on the first and second line right now. They're willing to wait and give him the time to develop, and then eventually they'll move him up to the second, possibly even the first line if he develops properly. But I don't think I don't think they're actively looking to get rid of him. Let's put it that way.
Yes, I think it's too early. I think you have to wait 23, 24 years old before that. I think patience is the key for Lafrenière. You can see the last couple of games, he's looking better, more involved with that part there. Then you talk about we have a superstar. They cannot their act together. Again, I always said it's not easy when you play Tampa Bay. Again, Montreal Canadiens, yes, I think they really lost by themselves. But last year, you cannot complain too much. They were so close about this. I think they gave everything. Matthews last year, Marner, Tavares, and Nylander. And unfortunately, the goaltending of the defensive was not all together. But part of this, who do you take a trade, Zef, Alexandre Frère or Pierre-Luc Dubois?
One more time.
Who do you trade? Who do you like take a trade that you want to trade for Lafrenière or Pierre-Luc Dubois?
Oh, I'll take Dubois all day long.
Yeah. How many free agents during the 2020 season do you think are 20 goal players?
Hard to say, right? It's hard to say because there's, each player brings a different aspect to the game, right? That makes them strong. And
yeah,
they're not even in the NHL yet. Like it's hard to predict something like that.
No, he's talking about the UF3, the ENORTAP are coming to right there this year.
Oh, the UFAs. I thought the prospects, the draft.
No, free agent.
Okay. Free agents. My bad.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. I'll give you an answer. That's my. But one of them, it was there. It was David Pastrnak. So he's out, Mr. ENORTAP. The next one is Timo Meier.
Yeah, he'll definitely be able to.
Patrice Bergeron. Jason.
I think he'll retire.
Jason Zucker.
Zucker will not put 20 goals.
Michael Bunting.
Bunting should be able to.
Alexander Killorn, 19 goals.
Possibly.
Max Domi, 19 goals.
Should be able to.
The last one, Patrick Kane, 17.
Yeah, he'll get 20 again.
See, we can answer to any question, Mr. ENORTAP.
Okay.
That's what it's about here. Right now, Dubois brings much better value. He's agree with you. You think Hudson after next season will turn pro? Yes. I'm skeptical for this year, but I expect him and the front year after that, Gary, for that. Alexandre Lafrenière is RFA at the end of the 22-23 season. One is 21 years old. Yeah. They're going to give him a bridge contract possible for that. I will not be surprised for this. Thanks so much for the game tomorrow. Laval and Springfield. Trout is in the house. Welcome back, Trout. One Trout is in the house. We have some fish to eat. I love it about that one over there. Don't forget to click on the like. RG's at 29 likes. I think he's behind a bit. I don't know what's going on. Good game tonight, Stu. about this. Coach on fire. Here we go. Like coach in ENORTAP. Can you give us two predictions for the Habs next season?
Two predictions. Okay, let me think this one through.
They're going to have one rookie prospect as a forward.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah.
I may be easy this one. I feel they're going to finishing better in the standing compared this season.
Yeah, I think that goes without say. I was thinking of that as well, but I'm thinking how many points better. Because let's face it, they even though they're at the bottom, they haven't really had a bad year, right?
But the
Like
problem
they're
is they
in
have
every
more
games.
points on top. But the goal again, the goal for the special team is not really better,
It's not good. No, no.
right?
So
So I
I
think
I,
for
I would
me,
say they'll have an improved power play next year because you're going to have once everybody's healthy, you're going to have the proper personnel to put on there. Um, and I would say expect something to happen at the trade deadline or at the draft time. I think you could see something similar to what happened with Doc happen again. And again, it might be Pierre Luc Dubois, it could be somebody else, a younger person, something like that happening again.
makes
I
sense.
would
Yeah, it makes sense. Nicolas
bet
de
on
Goubi
that.
Bono
Yeah.
is a house in Santa. Welcome back, and
Hey,
Nicolas.
Nicola.
Don't think here about this. No, welcome back. Look, people out, coach, way behind Luciano. Yeah, we're getting there, getting there. Good night, Angelo. You think Emerson will be traded in the draft? Yes,
Yes,
we agree with that one over
I
there.
think so.
New Dallas Stars general manager Jim Neal announced today that the club has signed a forward Kyle McDonald a 3 years entry-level contract will begin at 2023-24. Thanks so much for this one. Coach, how many goalies in the 2023 draft do you think you could be elite or maybe goalie you take a chance drafting if you're Montreal?
Elite, I would say, personally, I don't see any right now. And it's difficult really to make that statement because I find goalies are the hardest to predict in terms of where they will finish in the NHL. You sometimes you're lucky and you get a fourth, fifth rounder sometimes, and they develop beautifully and they become your number one. They don't become elite. I think elite usually we're talking first or second round.
Our first
But
round pick
I don't
usually.
see.
We talk about the
Yeah,
Vasilevsky,
yeah,
Fleury, and that's the first round.
Price. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I don't see that this year. I don't see anybody in the first round really.
No, on the flip side, I would say to you and King, they have at least five or six, at least five goaltender they could get draft pick before round number 75 overall.
Yeah, yeah, I
It
would
could be
agree.
three of them and then 4 or 5 before 100, but that's what they are. So those pick could become a solid goaltender in NHL. But a team, I believe, like a super elite, like you mentioned to you, we don't have anybody at the top 25 picks. The closest one could be a Archibald for the Czech 6-6, but you don't have a great year overall this year. So I
No.
think second round would be the one I would expect them. Yeah, don't be a surprise. Second round, Mr. Top, you get two goalies, maybe three get out of this round.
Yeah,
So it'll be a good one about this. Matthew will pull Tavares, Gary, leave all the way up at the creek. Do you think Montreal could or should trade the contract or carry price during the offseason?
I mean, if that possibility is there, they might end up doing that, just like they did with the Weber contract, especially if it gives you something back in return. Um, I don't see them just hanging on and leaving them on LTIR the rest of the career, because he's not going to announce a retirement anytime soon.
No,
He'd
the
be
only
silly
thing I would
to.
say to explain to people what they did with Shane Weber, it's not about the amount of the long-term injury reserve, it's the amount you have to pay him. His salary is higher compared to Sean Weber. Sean Weber was only at $1-2 million salary cap, about that
Right.
one over there. So
He's at 10 million, 10 and a
yes,
half million.
yes. So that would be the difference between him and between them and Carey Price, between Sean Weber. If the
Does
opportunity
he
is
have
there,
3
I think
years,
they're going to
coach?
trade them. I think if they have an opportunity, they will do it.
Does he have 3 years left?
4, I believe.
4. Wow. Yeah. If they can, I think they will.
Um,
Question is, will another team? It would have to be a team that has to reach the floor that will take on that kind of contract.
well, yeah, 4 with this year. So 3 after this season, Mr. Nata.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah,
Um,
that's what I
yeah.
thought.
So that would be the one with them. And he said carry on $8 million, 7.5 Mr. Nata. And
And
remember,
Byron comes off the
you have to give him $6.5 million, 5.5 million every year signing
right,
bonus.
right. And does Byron come
When do
off
you pay
the?
the? We have a question for you, Mr. When do you pay the signing bonus in NHL? Which
When
day?
do you pay it?
Which day do you pay the signing bonus?
Isn't it? Oh, I knew this. I thought it was at the end of the season.
No, but yes, it is at some point, but not end at the end of the season. So the Santa Claus, NHL Santa Claus, right? Danny
Yeah,
he did it. Danny was 1 year. He was the Santa Claus at some point. The Santa Tap, July 1st.
July 1st. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The last 2 years was changing because of the COVID situation, but the July 1st is the date, Mr. Tap, of all the contract. Rick, they call this now the day of Rick Tipietero.
Yeah, that's right.
So, or Alexei
I
Yashin, depends
remember.
which one you want to get that about that one or there. Ab would be close to a playoff spot next year if they stay healthy. No,
It's hard. It's hard. There's so many good upcoming teams in the
yeah,
East.
but on paper works, and no, it depends. You add Dubois, everything like that could change, right? But I don't think so. They
Yeah,
still
of
have too
course.
many pieces of the puzzle they don't have compared to Ottawa, Buffalo, Detroit, and the Florida,
New
Toronto.
Jersey. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it'll be too hard. Now they get close, possible, right? Can they finish 7? Possible, but I don't expect too much about that for me at this moment. Could change it with everything.
Yeah.
My prediction: Ab won't make a playoff, but they will make a fight for the wild card. The Eastern Conference is shifting quickly. Luciano.
I find that difficult to believe, Lucky. I
I will
just
give you
think
an
that there's a
example,
lot
Mr.
of
Tap.
upcoming
I
teams.
have a great. I'm sorry, I cut you, by the way.
No, no,
But
it's okay.
because you're going to say, the wild card is difficult, everything like that, right? I'll give you an example. Who's going to be a better team next year? The Columbus Blue Jacket or Montreal Canadiens?
That's a good question.
Right? Because if you
Especially,
add Connor
especially
Bedard,
if they get the number. Yeah, and you
right?
got Laney, and you got Goudreau, and you have
They get maybe
Wierenski,
a
and
Varlamov or an Anderson goaltender. Who knows? You don't know, but equal the lineup. I think you have Werenski defenseman, Bovis defenseman. You have Goudreau, Laney, possibly Bedard, or Fantilli if they play. So it's
yeah.
hard to predict that one. I think Montreal will not be ready yet for the walk. In my opinion, for the walkout. I could be wrong here. I've been
No,
wrong all the time.
I agree, and they're not gonna easily jump ahead of teams like Detroit and Ottawa and Buffalo. Not this year.
All right, Nicolas, I have to go. We wish him an amazing, great, good luck tomorrow for your big game at the hockey. Nicolas, you need rest. Don't go out after the game, by the way. We don't like it. How many time? How many time has a wildcard team won a Stanley Cup or make the final? The last
Wasn't
team, in
it
my
just the
opinion,
LA
it was the
Kings?
St. Louis Blues
LA,
in
wasn't it?
LA.
They just barely made the playoffs and won the cup that year.
Yeah.
St. Louis actually went from last place
Last
and
place at
climbed
the
to
January
a.
16, I believe, something like that.
But I think they were well into the playoffs by the time they got to that time. Like they weren't
Really?
right at the edge. I thought so. I thought maybe they were a couple spots ahead of one or two other teams.
Now you
That
pick
was
my
what, 3 years
curiosity
ago?
about that one over there, so I have to check this
One,
mission.
4 years ago. 4 years ago.
Um, they finished second on the 7. Yeah.
Seventh? Yeah.
They finished second on the 7 on the division.
Right. Yeah, they had a really good push after the All-Star game. Or
Yeah.
after Christmas, I think it was. Not after the All-Star game, after Christmas.
Yeah. Why they don't take. I thought you're going to give us the standing about that one over there, but yep. They finished with 99 points that year, Mr. Natap.
Yeah. If you recall, they just went on a remarkable run.
Barry Bay won 38, 19, and 6. Mike Yu was
Yeah.
7, 9, and 3. And they beat the Winnipeg, the Dallas Stars, the San Jose Sharks, and the Boston Bruins in 7 games, by the way, to win that cup against the Boston Bruins. So, and the percentage, Mr. Natap, preseason odds, they was plus 3,000.
Wow.
We love
That's
to
a
give
lot of
some
money.
stat, some Mr. Natap.
Coach, question for you.
Natap, about this one. Then we're going to pick up 3 more questions. Then we'll be done after the channel. So we thanks everybody. How many times? If we draft better, will the Habs make the wild card?
Will they make not right away. No. I'd be shocked if they did.
The problem is the
It's
goaltending.
not and it's not just about one player, it's about developing the team.
Yeah.
Yes, somebody like that is an elite player and will definitely propel them towards there, but I don't think they make the playoffs. Coach, I have a question for you.
Yep.
If Boston doesn't win the cup this year, is it considered a failure?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why?
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a great question, by the way. The reason I would say this, yes, because they all go in. They got Pertuzzi all of Attaway. And I think they have everything right now. The team is stacked, Mr. Natap. Very stacked. So to not win right now, I think it will be a disappointment for the team. I think it will be a failure, in my opinion. I don't know how you see that, but finals. That's why it's my opinion.
I'm similar. I mean, I just think if they can get to the finals, I don't know if it's a failure, but yeah,
everything could happen, right? But they have everything right now, like the chance and the team and everything. I think, it's very difficult for them about that. Next question is, how would you describe the career of Dylan Strong 2015 Toronto recap? But you have to take this like disappointed right now. He never reached his full potential, honestly. Now, this year with Washington, have 45 points. This is his second highest. But no, he have 57 points before that. And he have 2 seasons of 20 goals a plus. At 21 years old, have an amazing, great season. And now at 24 last season, have 20 goals, 26, 48 points. He has to become a 60 point in NHL. And because he was a 3rd overall pick for consider him like a good hockey player. But right now, he never reached that level about that. He needs to score plus at 25 goals. And now, he's going to have a chance with the Washington Capitals. I think the Washington Capitals used him properly. At 45 points, Mr. ENORTAP at 65 game, gave them 17 more goal, 17 more game, gave him about like 7-8 points. I gave him about 55 points, almost. Lucky it could be 60. But again, right now,
Yeah.
it's a little bit disappointed, King.
And it's two tough players to compare it to as well.
My last prediction, Coach will still have no freight and Winnipeg next year, and the big one will still run his own prediction. What's said about this when we pay Jet? I think you have a lot of chance expecting for the summer. For the Pittsburgh, it depends what you're going to do with Jarry Zucker. That's the two important contract there. I think for them, one disappointed player in Monday talk is Jeff Carter. I think Jeff Carter did not deliver what the same kind of the hockey he did last season when they got trade for him, Mr. ENORTAP. So that's what we got at this moment. Mr. RG gave us some more update about this one over there. We appreciate that. How many goals do you think Dano finish this season with?
What's he at now? 17?
No, I think he crossed. But first of all, Dano guys did not score. I don't know if you think about this. I could be wrong. Maybe he scored a goal recently. But at some point, Mr. ENORTAP, you have 2 goals in the last.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think he's around 17, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, he scored 3 goals, Mr. ENORTAP, the last 2 games.
Oh, he did? Okay.
The last 2 games. Prior to that,
so
he had 2 goals and 20 games. Now he has 18
How many
goals
does he have? 18 goals. Okay, yeah, that sounds right. And the question was, do we think he'll hit 20? Was that the question?
How many goals do you think he was going to finish?
I could see him getting close to 25, maybe 23.
Yeah, I would stop at 22, Mr. ENORTAP. I know he's out right now, but I would say 22. So.
Yeah, maybe. They only have, I think, about 17, 18 games left anyway. So.
Tony has more points que Trudeau. Yes, King, but did not play the same level hockey, honestly. Tony playing the professional in Austria, whatever it is, and then Laval Rocket for Trudeau. Trudeau, he was held to scratch 13 of the first 15 games, or maybe not, but maybe. I don't know exactly, but a really bad play by Calgary guys on the back door. And wow, they just save a goal, by the way. Calgary, 7:20 to go.
Do you think they pull out another rabbit out of the hat tonight, Calgary?
Well, this is we talked before that, Mr. ENORTAP, Calgary. I will go and solve that, but we talked about Florida earlier. This is the period, the third period against Chicago, and they came back and they win, right? This is the period for the Calgary tonight. They cannot win the 2 point against Anaheim, guys. So this is going to be really hard for them to come back.
Yeah, I agree.
So it'll be really interesting about that, Mr. ENORTAP. Coach Richard is in the house. Welcome, Richard.
Welcome, Richard.
That's produce nothing. Coach Frenchy, wish you will talk more. We talk about why Montreal has been the cash cow for the player who come here and do absolutely produce nothing.
I don't know if they're a cash cow. Like right now, they're trying to rid themselves of some contracts that were in that category. I mean, the last one is contract price is at that level, and probably Gallagher's is the next one. But the other players are making commensurate to where their skill level is. Like Suzuki signed for $8 million, but then there's really not much at that level yet. I mean, expect Caulfield soon. Will probably be coming in at around 8 to 8.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like when he said that, I don't know if he's talking about the player got UFA and they come with Montreal Canadiens, or the player, a trade come to Montreal Canadiens, or players and the organization got money. And it doesn't make sense. You have 3 ways you can see that answer. That question,
yeah, like if Dubois comes over, like you're talking 9.5, maybe. yeah, that would be.
Yeah. So if you think about that way, I would say to you the contract they gave to a UFA like Alsner, Hoffman. All right. And I would say you one thing, Mr. Richard. This is a great question, by the way. Mr. Tap, sometimes is the personnel of the players you got in return, and sometimes is the personnel of the team you play with. If you score only like a 2.9 goal per game, and now you go play a team with 3.7, obviously you're going to produce more somewhere else, right? And I think that's a problem with that part of that. Now, pressure could be a problem there. Secondly, the personnel the player you play with, the coach get you. That's number one over there. Obviously, I think for me, the biggest thing for me is the pressure and the way they play as a team together. Less offensive, oriented on defensive. Many years was based on carry price, and they don't create a lot of power play example. The power play never work a lot, and you never were have a team that Montreal score a lot of goal per year. So participation has always been lower. And you look about any player leave the Montreal Canadiens, took about the last 10. Les Eller, let's go with Philippe Dano. Yeah, I go all the way like this. Those players perform always better with another team versus Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
So you have different factors make this can answer that one over there. So great question, by the way, Richard, about this one over there. Obviously, for me, the pressure, and like Drouin and Sergachev example, Drouin never reached that level. Injury could be a problem with the half part or two, but not easy playing Montreal, unfortunately. Not for every player, by the way. Not many did like Carey Price did, Mr. Tap. You have to have a special mindset, like Carey Price, for what he accomplished with Montreal.
No, yeah, totally agree with that.
For 10, 15 years. Andrew K. Run, Mr. Nata for Ontario is in the house. From Barry.
Welcome.
Welcome back. Long time we did not see you for that one, Andrew. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for all the likes we got to it. Thailand, pretty good, Andrew. Wallet is lower, but it's smaller, but everything is good out of that. Doug are leading 2-1. Mr. Natap still cannot trust the Flames. Yeah. I think we have to start to believe a Randy Walkman. I always believe. Point, and I'm getting point. The bottom 5 is getting tired and tired, Mr. Natap.
Absolutely. Right now, Montreal, the difference between the Blue Jackets, who are last, and Montreal is, I think, 10 points.
And the initial?
I think so, yeah, or the overall. But right now, Montreal, they have Arizona that's behind them by 2 points.
Who is the second? Anaheim, which team is on top? Which team is a second worst standing right now?
Chicago, I believe.
San Jose.
Oh, right, because Chicago played tonight, so by percentage points.
Montreal guy have 8 points. 8 points in front of the San Jose and Chicago, and 11 points in front of Columbus. 2 points behind Arizona. In front of them, sorry about that. And Anaheim, if they won tonight, they would be only 5 points behind the Montreal Canadiens.
5 points.
Right. So again,
I still think Arizona and Anaheim could surpass Montreal, and then that would put Montreal with the 4th pick overall, unless they win the lottery, of course.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this one over there. For that, Mr. Tap, if you want to go, you can go. I know I hold you a little too much. Now you have a couple more questions to go, so it's up to you. If you want
okay. I'll hang around.
All right. King said, will Paul Biron return with Montreal next season, or he will be hang up, escape for good?
I think his contract's done this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he become a UFA at the end of the year. Yeah. So I think for me, Paul Biron is going to be retired. If not, work with Montreal Canadiens, or he will maybe decide to play an European Switzerland if he feel he want to still play hockey.
I think he'll stay with the organization. I think they're very fond of him and what he could bring to the team in a different capacity. So he might retire and then just take.
You see him many times on tap, and the Montreal Canadiens staff management a large during the game. Like he's not sit with the players. He sit with the with Hughes. Now, maybe with more players, he go there. I don't know, but you can see him. Black, I have a question. Black Dragon. Which player who played for the Montreal in the past is going to sign for the Montreal this summer? Because so said somebody want to come back is signed for the next season.
That played for Montreal in the past wants to come back. Oh, the only I don't know, Toffoli, Toffoli,
No,
Kulak.
if you go that
Those
way,
are
you have to look about
Lekanen.
UFA, Mr. Natap. UFA right now, you have Max
Yeah,
Domi, UFA, and
no,
you have, we just talk about him, Lars Eller,
Kulak. Oh, Lars Eller.
right?
No,
So there are
I
two
don't think
players
so.
right now, they are UFA. So I just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think anybody else on my head right now, but the two players right now, they are possible
Yeah,
could return with Montreal is this part, in my opinion. I have something else begin.
I don't think it'll happen.
Kev, so Corey Perry, I think Perry, he become UFA now.
Corey Perry, yes. This is the
Because he
second
signed a
year.
contract 2 years
Two
last year.
years for Tampa. Yeah, this is the end.
So that
But
would
he
give
won't
him
come
the
back.
end for him.
Yeah, he retires, I think.
I don't know. I would not be surprised he signed 1 more year with Tampa Bay Lightning. He's not going to be returning with Montreal.
Does,
He want to win the Stanley
but
Cup.
does Tampa Bay?
Yeah,
Will
Tampa
Tampa
Bay.
Bay hang on to him for one more year? That's the question. I know
Yeah,
he
that
might
Marco
want it,
is not up
but I
there.
don't
It
think.
will have been not do. Yeah, that's right. NMS, Martin Louis will prove you wrong for your prediction for next year playoff run, coach ENORTAP.
Okay, I hope so. I hope they make it to the playoffs. But
LH, thanks so much, my friend. Pleasure. King, why do you think the GM trade certain player away and then 3 years down the road they require them the same players? It all depends. Many factors could be there: the maturity of the players, the situation where they at, the circumstance, and I can go all the way like that. The salary cap, everything could be something like that. The age of the players, and I can go all the way like that. It's really a wild and wide range answer I can give it to you, but that would be my best way that I gave it to you about this one over there. Match specialty for Black Dragon. Yes, he's only one UFA next season. I don't think so. Montreal should bring him back, in my opinion, but you never know. I feel like Barron should have is 32, I think. No, he's a UFA next season, King for 3.4 for sure.
no, I think he's saying he still has more hockey left in him
I feel like Barron
for
should
one
have,
or
yeah,
two.
still has 1 year to left. Yeah. Yes. Um, the problem of
I
being wrong,
doubt it.
guys, he never tests his hip injury yet.
Yeah, exactly.
He's skate,
It's not
but he
easy.
feel better, but not like 100% to play an NHL. And the problem there is, is injury hip. So he's not going to be the first one not ever returning in NHL. Some did. It's just for me. At some point, you have to think a little bit longer. I can maybe play with Arizona, but after that, what I'm doing. So with Montreal Canadiens, it could become a scout. It could become like a little bit like Matthew Dash did with he became a Walknow assistant GM in NHL. I know said Bob Biron will be a GM, but I just said that's maybe a positive for him. He's thinking a long term after post career, Mr. Tap.
Yeah, it's possible.
So thank you so much. Just call me on that one, Gary, about possibly to make the playoff about this one. Then, then we go review all the likes. Someone click on the like, but it's okay. Don't dislike; it's part of the game. Before the season is over, I want to see Coach and ENORTAP to go ahead on the Saturday game prediction. You guys will have to send your prediction to me, and you cannot share your pick for each other.
That's a deal. I'm in. Are you in?
No. No, but that'll be interesting about that one there. What we should do, Mr. ENORTAP, is the last Saturday.
Yeah,
Usually have like 15 game or 16 game or whatever it is. We have to look
like
about the
tomorrow.
schedule.
Yeah.
But I think we should send our prediction to us. And us, we have to do the prediction before that. So 3 days before that. I don't agree, Mr. ENORTAP. I never know the pick of everyone.
No,
right?
I think Luciano's just referring
Yeah,
to
so me
you
and
and
you,
I.
we send the pick to Luciano,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
right? But we can leave the
And so we
people
don't
do
know
the
each
same
other's
thing too
picks.
to you, and then we can
Yeah,
all
yeah, of
together
course.
at the end of the night, at the end of the day.
We should make it a bonus round. Every win is worth 2 points.
What we go do something else, Mr. Natap, is at the end of the night, right? We should go like if you are negative, you go to jail, whatever it is you score. And don't worry, you don't have a double bonus about that one over there.
You just don't want me to take chances.
What rookie are making the team next year? We did have 10 rookies and 86. Kev. My only rookie I would say to you next year could make it, in my opinion, is maybe Owen Beck. Maybe a chance for Sean Farrell, but nothing else about that one. I don't think so. Mayu and Arson return. Montreal, Calgary returns up and help empty net right now about that one over there. And Anaheim just missed the net about this, so it'll be interesting how they're going to go. You're making my site split, Danny. Can we expect the trade from Hughes or just before the draft? What kind of move would you for age position players? I think for Montreal Canadiens during the draft, I think one big is going, but one big. I think Edmondson will be one get out, and then maybe a draft pick if they figure out they could get a young players and return. I think the possibility Pierre-Luc Dubois is still exists in Mr. Natap.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that could be happening about that one there. So, a great question about this. We are going to conclude with the last question, guys, because Danny have to go to the restroom. Will Brimo get time in the NHL next season? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not sure about this
No,
one. Then my only
maybe.
thing I would say to you
Maybe.
is about that one over there is it become if you send down in Laval, you have to be on the waiver. So that would be my only.
Yeah.
The reason I said no because of that situation. And Montreal don't like to lose a player for nothing. So I think they will only call him as an emergency call, Mr. Natap.
It's too bad because I think it's a critical year for him next year, and I think Montreal has to make a decision whether they're going to stick with him or not. And
I think
so,
Mr.
in order
Natap
for
at
that to
some
happen,
point. Now I see my mind is speed so much, man. I'm already like somewhere else, man. It's just crazy. I don't listen to you. I think
yeah,
it's
because
my
you haven't
problem.
slept. That's why.
I understand. I should pay it more attention. Mr. Natap, I was just thinking about that one there. I think at some point, a show next week, on the next couple of weeks, we should get a bold prediction next year for
Okay,
anything.
sounds
Like
good.
I predict Montreal select Connor Bedard.
But we have to have the whole panel here,
Yeah, that would be funny to see
a
that,
round
Mr.
table.
Natap, about that. So I just want to share with you about this one, there. And Mr. Natap, it's time to get out.
Uh-oh.
It's time to get out. I
It's
think everybody wants to go to the restroom. What a great night, Mr. Natap, we got tonight at the
Anna.
Hockey Nation show. Over 40 likes
Coach,
for Friday night. Yes.
3-1.
Are they score now?
It's over. Yeah, empty net.
Wow. They
And
score at
Montreal
1 second at the end.
trails. Goodbye, Calgary. Hello. Who? Winnipeg. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
Wow. That hurt. That hurt my prediction about Calgary here. But I still have 16 games to go, Mr. Natap, so we never know.
Yes,
But they
yes.
cannot score on that one over there. And you can see, I see the play right there. Don't put the puck all the way back. Then Glenn's going to get that one there. We have to give credit, Mr. Natap, to
Danny's
Anaheim.
cracking me up here
Anaheim and
with his
Chicago, Mr.
comments.
Natap, so far.
Yes, absolutely.
That'd be, you know, Mr. Natap, we love Nick, right?
Yes,
we love
do.
Nick, right? But imagine Chicago get not picked for number 1, number 2 next year. Right now, they're now number 3, Mr. Natap. But before we leave, Mr. Natap, we never talk about this. Can we add one more news?
Sure. I'm sure Danny can wait.
The Flyers fire Cliff Fletcher and they hire Daniel Briere.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm not surprised. We saw the writing on the wall with Fletcher. It's too bad. I just don't. I think Fletcher had a lot of pressure as well. I think above him, they had certain ideas of where the team should go, and Fletcher perhaps didn't uh, want to go that direction. So at the end of the day, you come at a crossroads, and here we are. I'm not surprised he's gone. It's easier to fire somebody like a coach or a general manager than it is to, get rid of 6, 7, 8, 10 players.
You're absolutely about this. This was coming very soon. It was just a question of time. It's not that this happening. Brière refused to go to any other place. He knew at some point he's going to become the GM of the Flyers. Little that happening before in the past, Mr. Tap, with Chris Drury refused the job to go to Panthers or any place. And that's happening right now for Dan Brière. Congratulations, Brière. 5 years ago, Mr. Tap, he was the owners of the Mainz Mariner and the NAHL. Just give you an idea where he's coming from. Really great story. Daniel Brière met him a couple of times on the off season. One his son play hockey and a coach and a junior. Great guy, great guy, guys. So congratulations for Dan Brière for sure. Then we have Mr. Frédéric Gadat said, you know what? Why not to get better at Dubois?
Why not? If that happens, then maybe we're in the playoffs.
If Patrick Kane can leave Chicago Mariner, maybe consider his departure for Toronto. It's going to be a trip overtime, Danny. About that one over there. Adam Berger, knock the door. Adam, welcome aboard. Thanks to be with us. Don't forget, guys, click on the live tonight. What a great show, Mr. ENORTAP tonight. Always a pleasure to have Adam Berger in the house. He's always stop by, say hi, and click on the like. So thanks so much, Adam. Very kind of you. Everybody, guys, what a great night. Danny, we can release you out. Go get there, out of the garage, go straight to the bathroom, and then finish what you have to do. Until the next time, Mr. ENORTAP, we wish you an amazing, great weekend for everybody. And of course, guys, we'll be back Monday night. Warm-up show, Mr. ENORTAP, at 6 p.m. at Browns. You Sunday rendezvous, guys. Sunday morning, 11 o'clock with our coach, Mike Larrabee. And of course, I'm going to do a play-by-play tonight. Montreal hosts the New Jersey Devils against Joseph Laham. That'll be interesting about that. C'est ma prédiction de positive. En plein ça, mon homme, mon Frédéric. Senator, before you leave, we want to remind everybody, because you are the man.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
You did it again, Mr. ENORTAP. Until the next time, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only dominate you, they find a way to dominate the first half of what?
You're 20, 23.
You did it again. Have an amazing, great weekend, Mr. ENORTAP. We're going to miss you, but we're going to see you Monday night with more result and prediction of the night. Thanks so much, all the moderators, Mr. ENORTAP. I think they did an amazing, great job. And all the questions, guys, was amazing, great show. All the gang. Have an amazing, great night, Mr. ENORTAP.
Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend.
We're not done yet. We have to tell you one more thing.